and welcome. Today we are going to see how to make rock buns the easy way. Rock buns are probably one of the oldest recipes known, referring to small cakes containing fruit with a rough surface. This recipe I'm using today has less sugar but more fruits and has no eggs. The good thing about making rock buns is that they are really simple to prepare and don't take that long, probably 20 to 25 minutes in the oven. These small cakes are very satisfying as snacks and really cheap to make, using only very few basic ingredients. Ingredients for making rock buns. The first thing to do is to measure out the ingredients correctly. We will need 250 grams of plain flour and just 60 grams of granulated sugar. We will also need 100 grams of butter or margarine. Oops, exceeded by 1 gram. The other basic ingredient for making rock buns is raisins. We will need 125 grams of it. To make rock buns, we only need one bowl to mix all the ingredients together. First, the flour goes in. Next, we add 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Then, a quarter teaspoon of salt. Next, add in all the sugar and give a good mix. Now, the butter. The butter should be slightly softened but still hold its shape. I'm using here a fork to rub the butter into the flour. We can also use our fingers to do this. When the mixture has changed to the texture of breadcrumbs, the wet ingredients can be added. But before that, I am adding here a quarter teaspoon of vanillin powder as flavoring. Now for the wet ingredients. 1 tablespoon of plain yogurt and 4 tablespoons of evaporated milk. Here is a little tip to increase the flavor of the rock cakes. Pre-soak the fruit with 3 teaspoons of orange juice, which will help to hydrate the fruit and give it an orange tang in the background. Next, all the raisins are added and given a good mix. After mixing, the pastry dough was still very dry, so I am adding another 2 tablespoons of milk. The dough should be firm but not dry. Yes, the dough has now the right consistency. At this stage, I set my oven to preheat at 180 degrees. I also prepared 2 trays for baking the rock buns. For this recipe, the liquid amount makes a difference to the baked result. If by chance too much liquid is added, then we can remedy by adding a tablespoon or 2 of flour. Too much of liquid will cause the rock buns to flatten out during baking and not hold its shape. As you can see, this pastry dough has too much liquid. Always add additional liquid by tablespoons if the consistency is not right. Here I have prepared 2 trays for baking the rock cakes, greased and dusted with a little flour. The easiest way to put the rock cakes on the tray is by using 2 forks or by using a fork and a spoon. The rougher the surface looks, the better, as it brings out the character of the cakes. They are meant to look like rocks. The size of the cakes depends on how big or small you want them to be. Here I have made roughly 6 cakes on each tray. Give a space between each cake as they will expand during baking. Here is a simple tip to add extra crunch to the rock buns. Just a pinch of granulated sugar. Sprinkle on top of each rock bun. This will give the cake a sweet crunch and will make a difference to the baked result. I personally love the taste of the sugar crunch on the rock buns. The rock buns can now be baked in the oven to a golden brown. I have already preheated the oven to 180 degrees centigrade. For best results, bake at the center of the oven at 180 degrees centigrade. Bake the rock buns for 15 to 20 minutes or until golden brown. It took me 25 minutes for the rock buns to reach a golden brown color. Looking good and beautifully baked. Out of the oven, the rock buns are cooled on a wire rack. But before that, I will taste. Freshly baked, so it is still very crusty on the outside. Now let's see how the inside looks like. The center is so soft and light and has a lovely vanilla flavor. I will take this piece to taste. Delicious! The outside has a sweet crunch from the sugar. The inside is light and crumbly. Has this wonderful bite from the fruits soaked with orange juice. Combined with vanilla flavor, the rock buns taste superb. Try this simple recipe and have lots of fun.